Today I'm gonna give you tips on how to make your videos look better. Tip number 1, camera angles. But first, breakfast. So notice how I move the camera a lot there. Try to position your camera in different angles and get a lot of the shots. Try to be as much as creative as you can. In the end, it will tell the story better. I was filming myself making breakfast. I try to get as much shots as I can. Maybe getting 3 or 2 different shots of you doing one action is also good. Just make the video more dynamic and more interesting to watch instead of just watching one angle of you doing something. It seems more like a tutorial than something that's supposed to be very eye-catching. So move your camera a lot. Try to get it in different positions which like you think will be interesting. Maybe like film from above, from below, from the side, something that is unusual and you as a person when you're like doing that action don't see it quite often. So, and yes, this camera positioning is a big hassle. It takes a lot of time thinking through and what you're gonna do, like how you're gonna position the camera, but in the end it will make the video a lot more dynamic, a lot more interesting, add a lot of value to your video. Definitely implement this and that will make your video look much better. Second tip for you guys, learn how to color grade your films and also find good spots of lighting. So I chose this spot, for example, to show you this kind of nice flare you can see all around here. It's because the window is hitting, there's a window here, and the light is hitting my lens at an angle and making these flares, so that looks nice. You might want that in your video. Or for an example, get close to a light source. See how it lights my face properly and very nicely. So try to find locations like this to film instead of like filming somewhere like here. Imagine if I talk to you and film like this. You don't necessarily need to have like expensive lighting to do this. I'm literally using just lighting from my windows. But you can also find some nice lights in your house, maybe like in the kitchen or something else where you have like warm lights and use that instead. This right here is literally just a light source and it's hitting the wall and then it's reflecting on my face and it just lights my face properly and nicely. So if I want to go for more of a dramatic look, I can do this and it makes my video more interesting instead of just filming in the dark like this. Third tip I'd give you guys is actually kind of connected to the first tip. Use different cameras. Obviously, if you have one camera, you're stuck with that one. That's it. Just use the camera to its maximum power. But if you have multiple cameras, maybe use like a DSLR, use an action camera like a GoPro. It kind of mixes up the view and makes it a bit more interesting. You can also achieve this by changing the lens on your camera, or if you have a zoom lens, maybe like, you know, change the way you're film from far away and use a zoom like I'm using right now, or maybe come up close and zoom out. Fourth tip is gonna be transitions. Use them smart, don't overdo it. I see a lot of these like amateur editors, you know, which make commercials and stuff on Instagram, and they overuse these like, you know, slide transitions, slide down transitions, the zoom out transition, all this. I use it when there's like a reason to use it, like the natural movement of the clip is, you know, moving like slowly to the left, or, you know, there's a nice opportunity you thought about some cool transition you can make. If you're making like a cinematic edit and then you can like, you know, do those speed ramps and blur speed ramps, like just, you know, blur your video. And we came to the fifth tip, and it's gonna be sound. Now, sound can be very useful, honestly. It can add like a third dimension to your videos. So basically, I don't use them that often. I use them when I feel like using them. For example, in this commercial I made for my friend, where there was like pasta cooking and stuff, I added these sounds because it made more, you know, sense to hear like all these sounds while the pasta is being made. So like the cutting boards and the blog sounds. Sometimes you can even record them, or sometimes you won't need to add them if you have a nice microphone. Yeah, so sometimes you won't need to add sounds because you have just natural sounds from the actual video, but sometimes you don't record, there's like a lot of noise going on and you want that sound to be added. You can go on YouTube, find a lot of like free samples, or even record them after the video with some kind of nice microphone, or you don't even have to have a nice microphone, you can also record them with your phone. You just have to have an isolated area where there's like quiet and you can just record the actual sound. So those are all the tips I have for you guys today. I hope this sparked a bit of creativity in you, and you're gonna use these tips in your own ways and create some awesome videos with that. As always, I hope to see you in my next video, and that'll be it for today.